present the complex information using technology. That is, whatsoever information we have, how we can present that through the form of tech. Like I am using PowerPoint at the moment for conveying to people the scores communication skill for business. So that's a technology. Command verb present. It means show for others to scrutinize or consider, formally deliver, for example, in verbal, written, or graphical format. That is what present means. Presenting the complex information using technology involves leveraging various digital tools and platforms to effectively convey intricate concepts or data sets to an audience. Very simple when we want to convey something through the projector, the information, we can use different apps, platforms, social media apps through which we can do this. The first point is data visualization tools. That is, utilize tools like Tableau, Power BI, or Google Data Studio to create visually appealing charts, graphs, and interactive dashboards. That is specifically if you want to make some sort of charts, graphs, anything, we can use these apps too. These are such kinds of apps. These tools help transform complex data sets into easily understandable visual representations, allowing the viewers to grasp insights quickly. For example, a business analyst could use Tableau to create a dashboard displaying sales trend, regional performance, and consumer demographics. Now, if you want to work for these kinds of things and you're having the data related to the demographics or the trends, then what we can go ahead, we can use the app Tableau for it. It is the perfect one. So that is how we visualize tools when we want to apprehend the data. Then we have presentation software. Platforms like Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, or Prezi enable users to create engaging presentations with multimedia elements such as images, videos, and animations. Presenters can structure their content logically using the bullet points, headings, and slides to break down complex information into digestible segments, the way we are presenting you at the moment. That is the presentation software, and we are using PPT. For instance, a researcher presenting findings from a scientific study might use PowerPoint to organize data, explain methodology, and illustrate key conclusions. Like when you're at the final year of university, or even you're working with any researcher or any organization through which you have to do the research papers, we always prefer PowerPoint because it is quite handy. Secondly, it is acceptable worldwide. Interactive e-learning modules. Develop interactive e-learning modules using authoring tools like Articulate, Storyline, Adopt, Captivate, or Moodle. These tools allow instructional designers to incorporate multimedia elements, quizzes, simulations, and branching the scenarios to engage learners and facilitate the comprehension of the complex topics. When specifically we want to do the e-learning modules, we want to make it interactive from the both ends, that is the user and the meter, then we can go ahead for these apps too. For example, a company could create an e-learning module on cybersecurity awareness, combining the text-based content with the interactive scenarios to educate employees on best practices for the data security or the security. Like, for example, let's say I'm using the Adopt Captivate at the moment, and I want my participants to know the topic first because it's quite new. And for example, the pink ribbon, which is specifically for the breast cancer patients and for the awareness for the girls and boys both. For that, how I can make the awareness in the auditorium by giving them the brochures, conducting a little bit of quizzes and seminars through which I will know them whether they knew about it or not and how they can overpower it, because it is always recommended after a few months we should have a personal checkup too. Even my doctor was suggesting me that it is quite necessary because slowly and gradually many females are grabbing this problem. That's why. Virtual reality, the VR and augmented reality. The first thing, explore immersive technologies like VR and AR to provide experiential learning experiences. The first thing, what is virtual reality or the VR simulations? This can simulate the real world environments, enabling users to interact with complex systems or the scenarios in a safe and controlled setting, like A medical training program might use the VR simulations to allow aspiring surgeons to practice surgical procedures in a virtual operating room. That is, we're not going to harm anybody in reality. But what we are going to do, we can make dummies, we can make robots through which we are going to do our practice. And in real life, we can be practical surgeons. That is what virtual reality is. We are going to assume that this is how the patient condition is going to be, or anything like, for example, the e-modules or 3D modules. In reality, the architect, they don't make the buildings, for instance, like quickly or randomly. They take time for that. Maybe just within a week, they can make the module. But in reality, the buildings, the houses, they take years. However, AR applications overlay the digital information onto the user's physical environment, which is enhancing the real world experiences with the additional context or the data. For example, it could be an architectural firm using AR to visualize building designs overlaid onto the physical construction sites. Like whenever we want to make the project, there is always a tender. These are the construction terms. First, the tender is passed between the constructors, architects, interior designers, and then it is approved. After that, it is made into reality. That is what augmented reality is. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, ma'am, augmented reality is only for like mostly the example is architecture, like the design.
Yeah, it's only an example just for the visualization. That's it. But the main, what do we call it, the definition for it that the AR is, it is about the physical environment enhancing the real world experiences. Because you are going to allot a lot of money in the project. That is why we're going to first pass the tender, pass a project, and then we're going to work on it. Because most of the time, most of the tenders, they get failed because there is a budget allotted. That is why. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now clear.
Then we have collaboration platforms. Leverage the collaboration tools such as Microsoft Teams, Slack, Zoom app, or Trello to facilitate the teamwork and communication among the team members working on the complex projects. These platforms allow for the real-time communication, file sharing, task management, project tracking, streamlining collaboration, and ensuring that everyone stays informed and aligned. For instance, a software development team could use Slack channels to discuss the project requirements, share the code snippets, and coordinate development tasks in real time. Like in yesterday class, Behseen was able to share the screen. That is what that is was a collaboration platform. I was checking his work online between the class. You were learning from it, and I was checking his mistakes too. So we were collaborating on it. By employing these tech-driven approaches, individuals and organizations can effectively present complex information in ways that are engaging, informative, and accessible to their target audience. Definitely, why these apps are so known between the people or among the people, because in the end, we are going to mingle out the audiences. Okay. Then we have the distinction 141, adapt own oral communication for the different audiences and purposes. Now, in your indicative content, they have given us the point for the audiences and purposes. We're going to do the answer accordingly. Adapting oral communication for the different audiences and purposes involves tailoring your speaking style, tone, and content to effectively convey your message to a specific group in a given context. That is, whatsoever the environment is, it depends on your tone, on your style, that how you speak up with them. When delivering a formal presentation to a small group, it is essential to maintain a professional demeanor and structure to your speech in a way that commands attention and conveys authority. Most of the time, we are not watching like I cannot see you, you cannot see me. But the way I am delivering the presentation, the way you are responding, it depicts a lot. You should be well prepared, articulate, and engage your audience by addressing their interests and concerns. That is the reason why I'm asking questions and asking that there is a problem or not, because sometimes the teacher can assume and can feel that there is a problem behind the bar as well. That is the sixth sense, basically. Now we have examples for it because this is quite a general topic. So We can't find a lot of data for it, but I can explain this through the examples. Staff training session. Imagine you are tasked with delivering a formal presentation to a small group of employees to train them on a new software system. Now, in this scenario, you would begin by introducing yourself and providing an overview of the training agenda. You would then proceed to explain the features and functionalities of the software using clear and concise language supplemented by the visual aids such as slides or demonstrations. Throughout the presentation, you would encourage interaction by inviting questions and fostering discussions that everyone understands the material. Did you understand this example for the staff training session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Early collaboration meeting. Suppose you need to present project updates and collaborate with a small group of colleagues from different departments, maybe from R&D, marketing, quality assurance, and so on. In this case, you would structure your presentation to provide relevant information tailored to each team needs and interests. That is, according to their wants and needs, we're going to have a discussion, have a collaboration. Would highlight the key achievements, discuss challenges, and solicit the feedback or suggestions for improvement. By demonstrating your expertise and actively involving participants in the discussion, you foster a collaborative environment conducive to the problem solving and decision making. Just a best example, the way we are having class right now. You encounter with the problem, I solve it. Like it was quite interesting when a student was asking problem from his assignment, and you was quite vigilant that you even asked questions from it. So it was a good mark because most of the students, they don't find that much confidence to intervene between the lecture or between the interruption or discussion. So it's a good thing. Management briefing. As a department head or HOD, you are responsible for presenting quarterly performance reports to the senior management. Your presentation should be polished, concise, and focused on strategic insights and actionable recommendations. That is, when you are an HOD, we're expecting a lot from you. Your presentation should be formal and your style should be formal too. You would highlight the key metrics, identify the trends, and outline the future goals and initiative because you are the head of the department of an organization. That is why you are actually presenting an organization at that time. By presenting information in a structured and a data-driven manner, you demonstrate your competence and credibility, influencing the decision makers to support your proposed strategies. Till date, I remember my two mentors, teachers, sir, from my university. They taught me for 2 years consecutively, but literally till now, I owe them a lot. They were huge, like literally, they played a huge role in my success. Who am I right now? Till now, I have a very good contact with them through WhatsApp because it's not easy to meet them. I live in another city, they live in another city, but that is how it depicts. When you're so professional, the students, the candidates, the people around you, they get so inspired by you that they want to be them, like them. In each of these examples, the speaker adapts their oral communication style to suit the specific audience, that is staff, colleagues, management, and purpose training collaboration briefing. So the purpose of a staff is to train the other colleagues, the other people, the new staff, colleague to collaborate with people, management to brief about something. By tailoring their approach and content accordingly, they enhance engagement, comprehension, and the overall effectiveness of their presentations.
So, ma'am, for staff training session, like just understood. So, which means like we have to present according to our style, like how staff training session, colleague collaboration meeting, management. This is how we will like
Yeah,
collaborate.
that's how we are depicting the oral communication style. When you're a staff member, how you act with your peer groups. When it's 5M1, that is 5 merit 1, assess the effectiveness of the technology in oral and written communication. First, we did the oral and written communication generally. Now we are going to assess it. Assess means use available information to make a judgment, produce a convincing argument for this judgment. You're going to explain in detail by giving the introduction, a main body text, and in the end, you're going to have a judgment that what do you think? Assessing the effectiveness of the technology in the oral and written communication involves evaluating how various tools and platforms enhance or hinder the conveyance of the messages, information dissemination, and audience engagement. That is what we're doing in oral and written communication through the tech. We are conveying the messages one-to-one. We are discussing the information. We are engaging the audience. Oral communication. Technology has revolutionized oral communication by providing platforms for the virtual meetings, presentations, and collaboration tools that facilitate real-time interaction regardless of geographical location. I am in Islamabad, Pakistan. You are in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, but we are talking to each other. Video conferencing apps like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet enable face-to-face communication, screen sharing, and document collaboration, fostering seamless communication among the remote teams. The yesterday class example, we were able to share the screen, we were able to discuss the content. Additionally, presentation software such as PowerPoint on Prezi allow the speakers to create visually engaging slideshows and multimedia elements, enhancing audience engagement and comprehension. Then we have written communication. These are actually the definitions that what these are, how it affects our life too. In written communication, technology plays a vital or pivotal role in streamlining the creation, editing, and distribution of the written content. Word processing software like Microsoft Word and Google Documents offer tools for spell checking, even the word count as well, grammar correction, formatting, improving the quality and professionalism of the written documents. Email and instant messaging platforms enable quick and efficient communication, facilitating timely exchanges of the information between individuals and teams. Moreover, the content management system, the CMS like WordPress and Drupal, now these are quite technical one. I don't know whether you have learned the WordPress or Drupal, but many people nowadays are investing a lot of time and energy to learn these because these are ultimately leading to you with a good job if you want to work remotely. So it helps us in blogs, articles, web pages, even making up a good website, reaching a broader audience and enhancing brand visibility. There are so many websites through which you can track out the, what do you call the websites, but the art of making a website by your own self is distinct. Honestly, nobody can copy it. That's what written communication is. For example, imagine a multinational corporation conducting a virtual town hall meeting using video conferencing software. Executives deliver presentations to employees worldwide, sharing company updates, discussing strategic initiatives, and fostering employee engagement through interactive Q&A sessions. The use of tech enables seamless communication across diverse teams and ensures that all employees receive timely information regardless of their location. Wherever they are having a video conference in between the city or a country, and they're discussing what the organization performance is, how they can make it better, and so on. And they are involving the employee engagement as well. So they're using both oral communication and written communication as well. Another example, consider a marketing team collaborating on a project using cloud-based document collaboration tools like Google Documents. Team members contribute to a shared document in real time, brainstorming ideas, that is capturing whatever we get first in the mind, drafting marketing copy, and providing feedback on each other's work. That is why it is for the collaborative nature, and we're collaborating as a marketing because we are as a team working on a project. Of the platform, it enhances the productivity, encourages creativity, and ensures that everyone is working from the latest version of the document, thereby improving the quality of the final deliverable. That is, before reaching to the final product, the end, we are going to work so perfectly beforehand that there is no room or ground for an error. In both examples, technology enhances communication by providing efficient tools and platforms that facilitate interaction, collaboration, and information sharing, ultimately contributing to increased productivity, improved decision making, and enhanced organizational effectiveness. That is what we're getting apprehend from both examples. It is helping us in what? In production, that is the productivity, decision making, and the effectiveness as well. However, it is essential to recognize that tech is only effective when used appropriately and in conjunction with effective communication strategies and best practice. If you want to inculcate technology in your organization, which is a necessity now, you have to work on your communication skills as well. Both things can only be successful if you are going to integrate together. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The last, I think, yeah, assessment criteria for today's lecture and task number 3. Adapt own written communication for the different audiences and purposes. First, we did the oral communication. Now we are going to work on the written. Adapting written communication for the different audiences and purposes involves tailoring the content, tone, style, and the format of the message to effectively convey the information to the specific group of the people or achieve particular goals. Understanding the audience. Before writing, it is essential to understand the characteristics, preferences, and the needs of the target audience. Consider the factors such as age, educational level, cultural background, interest, and communication preferences. Whenever you want to produce an article or you want to write a story, you always visualize, brainstorm that you are from whom you are going to write this thing. If you want to write a story and it is including a lot of fairy tales, then definitely it is worth for the toddlers, the children. That is what understanding the audiences, perceiving them, clarifying the purpose. Clearly define the purpose of the communication, whether it is to inform, persuade, entertain, or instruct. The purpose will dictate the content and tone of the message. Like so many prisoners in the prison, they end up becoming a writer. They always write a book. Why? Because this is the best thing through which they can express their feelings. And that's a written communication. And their audiences are the general public. Adapting the content, tailor the content to resonate with the audience and achieve the intended purpose. Use language examples and references that are relevant and relatable to the audience. Avoid jargon or technical terms that may be unfamiliar to them. For example, I'm using KPI, CPI again and again, and the general people or the general students don't know what it is. KPI is simply key performance indicator. So it's better to use the full forms. And even if you're doing and explaining something with the example, they should be relatable and the latest, whether if it's your personal life or a professional. Choosing the tone and style. Select an appropriate tone and style that aligns with the audience and purpose of the communication. That is, when we talk to our parents, our tone is going to be different. When we're talking with our friends, the tone and the style is going to be different. For formal audiences, the professional purposes, maintain a professional tone and use formal language. For the informal audience or the casual purposes, adopt a more conversational tone and relaxed style. That's the basic difference between a formal and informal communication. Selecting the format. Determine the most suitable format for delivering the message based on the audience preferences and the communication purpose. This could include emails, letters, reports, articles, social media posts, or presentations. Like when you're working in an organization in a professional level, we use the emails. So it is according to the profession, it is according to the organization, the type of communication we're doing. For example, suppose you're writing a communication about a new product launch for two different audiences, potential consumers and company stakeholders. We have to keep in this mind, we're going to repeat the points, but the aspect and the point of view is going to be changed. We are launching a new product, for example, a perfume, and we're having two audience for it. One is the consumer and the other one are the stakeholders, because stakeholders are the one who is investing their mind, their investment in our organization, and we are retaining and the profit, the cost, each and everything from the consumer. So both entities are essential for us. The first one says the purpose of the potential customer, because that's the audience at the first moment. Inform and persuade consumers to purchase the new product. Content, focus on the product features, benefits, and how it addresses the consumer's needs or pain points. Use language that is simple, clear, and consumer-centric. Include testimonials or consumer reviews to build credibility, that is giving up the samples. Tone and style. Adopt a friendly and engaging tone to connect with the consumers. Use persuasive language and emphasize the value proposition of the product. Format. Create social media post, product descriptions on the company website, and promotional emails tailored to grab the consumer's attention and drive them into taking action. We are the best example our own selves. We are the consumers of certain organizations, right? So this point is quite valid as well. Audience, the company stakeholders, first we did the consumers, now the stakeholders. Here we are having investors and the board members. The purpose is provide an update on the new product launch and its potential impact on the company's growth and profitability. This is the purpose. That is, we have to inform them. Then the content include detailed information about the product, market analysis, sales projections, and strategic implications. Now, these are those technical terms which have to be familiar with the company stakeholders, whoever he is. He should know that what these things are going on and how the margin is going on. Use data-driven insights and financial metrics to support the key points. Tone and style. Maintain a formal and professional tone to convey credibility and seriousness. Use precise and concise language, avoiding unnecessary details, or overlay the casual expressions. Whether this is a consumer, whether it's a stakeholder, we have to be professional with both of them. Format. Prepare a comprehensive report or presentation with the charts, graphs, and visual aids to illustrate key findings and projections. Schedule a formal meeting or send a detailed email to stakeholders to discuss the product launch, strategy, and its alignment with the company. This is how we can inform them. Already they knew it. That is why they're doing the investment. But as a professional organization, as a professional body, management, this is our ultimate goal and responsibility, that how we are going to inform them. By adapting written communication to suit the specific needs and preferences of the different audiences and purposes, you can enhance clarity, engagement, and effectiveness in conveying your message. When we're adapting these things, these qualities, these techniques, then what is going to happen? Our written communication is going to be more clear. We're going to engage the audience, and whatever message we want to convey, it is going to be effective at the same time. That's it. We are done with this course. Any questions which you want to ask?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question on after 5M1, like after oral communication, something like I think adapt your own, something like that.
What do you want to ask?
Yes, ma'am. Second, after understanding the audience, ma'am.
Yeah, clarifying the purpose.
The clarifying the purpose I didn't understand. It's like they mention here, like clearly define the purpose of the communication. Is it like what, like we have to
Like
instruct, or
my
like it's like just we have to make the information or something?
my purpose of communication with you is to instruct you that what the subject means, right?
Yes, yes.
That is what the purpose of the
It's like you have to express feelings or something, like you give like entertain or construct. Okay,
yeah, all aspects are correct. Whether it's an attainment, whether it's an educational purposes, whether it's an information purposes, we are communicating on a purpose base.
yeah. Purpose based mostly.
Yeah.
And ma'am, the last part I didn't understand the example. You gave here like two examples, like potential customers and stakeholders. Like I understood the potential, but I didn't understand the stakeholders. Is it like when you launch any product, so they just want to see like how it's like the company growth and profitability, right? Like it has to be included a detailed information, because any product we want to launch, we want to show the consumer sample and they're like, oh yes, this is a good product and everything. So what about the companies a whole, like in the purpose it's given like update on the new product launch, its potential impact on the company's growth and profitability, even in for the content also, like sales projection. But what about this strategic implications? I didn't understand that, like in the content.
Content. Uh, the purpose content. You want to ask this, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Content
Content.
mostly. That strategic implications I didn't get it at all. Like how, like I just understood like you have to include the information about the product, but strategic implication I didn't
That is
understand.
what a content is, Rosanna.
Oh,
The
okay.
purpose of a meeting, we are having a meeting. Why? Because I want to convey the lecture. And what is the content? The content which we're discussing right now, that's the content. And for
Okay.
this point of a company stakeholder, these are the content. They want, they would definitely want to like about and know about it. What is the analysis of the market, of the industry? What is the financial budgeting going on? What are the implications? What are the problems they're going to face in the decision making? It is of their interest as a company stakeholder. If I am to talk about my course or your course, we are discussing about work. What is going to be the content then? The problems which we can face, that is the problems in your assignment, in your lecture classes.
Yes, ma'am. I understood.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now clear.
Okay.